Today, we're going to be talking about having the proper mindset and the proper perspective to thrive during COVID-19.
You're listening to the Go Be Great podcast with Travis Wolfe Sr., inspiring you to strive for greatness in everything, everywhere, every time.
Go be great!
Great day and welcome to the Go Be Great podcast. I am Travis Wolfe Sr. and you are great. Today we're going to be talking about having a proper mindset and the proper perspective to thrive during COVID-19. And, many of us, it's an interesting time, obviously, an interesting time. And there's a lot to be said during this time. There's a lot of different things going on. There's a lot of different situations that people are going through. And, everybody's not thriving during this time, needless to say. Or at least it appears that everybody's not thriving during this time, needless to say. But what's important, I think, for us to remember and to realize is that perspective is everything. And it always is. Perspective is everything. How you look at anything can dictate how you feel about it, because what you believe is true for you, right? It's not fair for us to denounce or to judge anyone's thoughts or opinions or ideas or their feelings or what they believe is true, because whatever they believe is right. What you believe is right. What I believe is right in our own worlds. Right? Doesn't mean that it might appear as the reality for us, but it doesn't mean that it's reality in actuality. So what I mean by that is some of us look at the situation with COVID-19 as if it's a negative situation. Some of us might feel like we're not able to survive or we're not able to thrive during this time, or we might feel like, this is destroying our business or this is whatever. And because we think that, we're right. But what if we thought that this was the perfect time? So many of us want to do certain things in business, but we're not able to because we just don't have the time. We just don't have the freedom to do it because we're so wrapped up in our business. Many of us who are entrepreneurs might have a day job, and then after their day job, we come home to, doing the work that we're doing in our entrepreneurship life, right? So because many of us are working a 9 to 5 and then coming home and working a 5 to 9 on our side business, we don't have time to really thrive and really grow out our business. So during a time right now when we've always wished for or wanted more time, right? Many of us, but now we have a time where many of us aren't able to go to work. Many of us, our jobs shut down. Many of us lost our profession completely, whereas the job completely folded and just it doesn't exist anymore. Some of us don't have that job anymore because they can't open during this time. Whatever the situation is, this is the time right now to take advantage of all of the freedom that we have to build all the things you wanted to grow, all of the music that you wanted to make, all of the finances. There's so much time now. Some of us, I know for me especially, I used to be, as you guys know, many of you who follow the podcast, many of you who might not know, I used to be a police officer, and then I got promoted to sergeant. And the more I got promoted, the more time I spent away from home, away from my family, and the more I was working. So now that I'm retired from the police department, thank God, now that I'm retired from the police department and I'm able to do the things that I love, which is be home with my family, I'm learning more about who they are. Right? I'm learning more about my son, more about my daughters. I'm learning more about my wife, and I'm actually realizing that I didn't quite know my family like I thought that I knew my family. I missed a large portion of my kids' lives because I spent 12 years in the police department. My kids are only 18, 14, and 6. So I missed a large portion of all of their lives by being so wrapped up in the police department. But now that I'm not there anymore and all I'm focused on is my business and Wolfe empowerment, focus on my personal development and growth as an individual and training others in their personal development as well, and training students and youth and doing all that kind of stuff. Now that I'm focused on that, on what I love, I'm able to actually grow my business more. I'm able to actually get to know my family more. I'm able to actually do more. And during this time, during COVID-19, because of the perspective that I have, not only am I able to grow myself and grow my business in more ways, I'm actually learning how to put my business online, to make it digital so that I can still serve people even during a time when I'm not able to physically be in a space because of the rules, right? So that's important. Some of us don't have a business that we can take digital, or we haven't figured out how to take our business digital. If we can't stand there and do the work in person, we cannot serve some of us, or at least that's what we think. That's what it appears. But what if we figured out a way? What if we figured out a way to make it digital? What if we figured out a way to make our business what if we found a way to make ourselves so valuable that no matter what, we're necessary in business? What if we found a way to make ourselves so invaluable that whether or not we could stand in front of a person, or whether or not we had to, do it from afar, they still needed us, right? How would your business look at that point? Then how much more free time would you have? Because now you don't have to travel and get to locations and be in the presence of people. Now you can be in the presence of people virtually, which saves you travel time, it saves you income, saves you money. So there's expenses that you save on. It's so much of a benefit to actually put all of your business online. So just consider that as well. And not to mention, now that we're home with our families, right? Don't forget about the family, right? One question I want to ask you business owners is your family part of your business plan? My mentor asked me that one day, and he's the authority in American business ownership and development. And he asked me one day, is your family part of your business plan? And I'm like, man, I never thought they were. Luckily for me, but it wasn't intentional. I didn't intentionally make them a part of the business plan, right? So once I did it with intention, once I was able to understand that they're part of my business plan, and once I was able to figure out how they're part of my business plan because I was intentional about it, everybody grew, right? All of us grew in our own individual businesses, and I grew in mine as well. I started to utilize my family as a resource for my business, as something to help my business to grow, help my business to thrive, as opposed to them having their own thing and me having my own thing, and everybody's doing great things, but nobody's using anybody to help them do anything. So different level. Now that we're home, I'm figuring out ways that we can work together and thrive and grow. And you guys have seen us do some of that work on the podcast. I had Travis and Diana on the podcast together. I'm going to have Anaya on the podcast super soon. You guys will see Diana. You guys have probably already seen Diana once this airs. You've already seen the podcast with Diana. We released that recently, and it's extraordinary information, teaching people how to get started as an actor in the entertainment industry, and just extraordinary information, man. And we're going to share platforms. We're going to share our followings. We're both going to grow in that space because of it. And she brings so much value to the table because she's helped all of us as entertainers get into the industry. Travis is doing amazing. He's a series regular on the show. He had a reoccurring guest star role on Raven's Home, Disney's Raven's Home. He's, done a bunch of different TV commercials and stuff like that. And with his reoccurring role on Bob Parts Happy Shoulder, every Monday at 8:30 p.m. CBS. So now that he got that reoccurring role on Bob Parts Happy Shoulder, he's doing really, really good, and it's helping Diana to look good at what she does as well. It shows that what she's doing actually works. Anaya is doing extraordinary in her business as a director. So Diana's had so much experience behind the camera, in front of the camera, and behind the scenes of both of those, because she's also been a Hollywood talent agent as well. So just her experience is so vast. Working together, her and I, we work together so well, and we're able to get so much across to people from both of our different perspectives. And when we come together, we just can do so much more. So what can you and your family do together, right? What can they do together? Is your family a part of your business plan? If not, why not? How can you guys thrive together? That's the victory. Family's God ordained. Make it happen, guys. Bring your family into it. Figure out how to utilize their strengths, how to progress what you're doing and what they're doing by working together. So that's just for me, man, from a different perspective, looking at things. I'm so grateful for this time during COVID-19. I know, it's all about perspective, and, the truth is that some people are passing away during this time, and God bless them. I'm so grateful that, we've been able to be safe, but my heart goes out to the families who have lost people. I can imagine what that would be like for my family, but I don't want to give power to anything that's not of God, that's not positive, right? I don't want to give any power to that. I want to focus on what we can do to be better during this time, what we can do to be safer, what we can do to grow our businesses, what we can do to give more and do more to others, give more to others during this time, and do more to serve the world, right? So that's my focus, and that's how I'm looking at it. That's my perspective. And I think with the proper perspective, we can really go a lot further. So just consider your perspective. Maybe if you shift your paradigm, you'll change your life. Actually, not maybe. You will. So shift your paradigm, change your life, go get the proper perspective, get the proper mindset, and thrive during COVID-19. Go be great.